Hello there, my students. Today we're talking about Star Trek Voyager again in this new sort of reformatted version of Tangent Studies where it's a lot more reactionary. It's really the same thing except formatted in a way that's easier for me, where I'm watching the video as I'm talking about it. Now, of course, I won't be able to put the entire episode in the video, because that would be very silly and also illegal. So, go watch the episode yourself, you silly booger. Don't just listen to me talk about it. There's no way I can do it justice just by talking about it and showing you select clips from it. Anyway, yeah, so watch the video. I'm gonna watch it.
Both containers should have been filled. Here's the problem.
So this is kind of cool. Janeway is here doing this experiment because I think something that sometimes gets forgotten about Janeway is that she actually is a bit of a scientist herself.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Her mentor slash inspiration being Leonardo DiCaprio, played by Gimli. Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio is a very different man.
And he was scheduled for time on Holodeck 2 when he went off duty. No one has seen him since.
Scan the holodeck.
Okay, I'm remembering this now. This is the Beowulf episode. Pretty sure.
Is a Holo-novel based on the epic earth poem Beowulf.
Ha! I told you, Beowulf. I told you. You didn't believe me? Maybe you did. Comment down below if you didn't believe me. But I was right. And comment down below if you did believe me. And like the video and subscribe. Okay, I'm done.
An ancient English epic.
It is kind of nice that they have Chakotay actually having to explain what Beowulf is. That's a big critique I have with both like certain episodes of Enterprise and then the Orville. They treat like sort of modern day stuff like it's still prevalent, you know, way far in the future. So it kind of works here with him being like, oh, this is what Beowulf is. Like, I barely remember it, but this is what I think it is. But probably also the reason they're doing it is because Beowulf isn't that prevalent presently. I don't know if it was back then, but probably a lot of people were watching and didn't know what Beowulf was. So that's probably the actual reason they have him explaining. But it kind of works for me world-building wise.
He was like no other. Hair straight and raven black. Eyes bright with fierce fire. Burning gaze of a hero.
Grandiloquence notwithstanding, that would qualify as a description of Mr. Kim. How did you know he was Beowulf?
This is Harry's Holo-novel. It makes sense that he'd be playing the hero.
It would also make sense that he would program all of the characters to talk about him in a very positive manner.
Your kinsman was a truly noble warrior. It is right you should avenge his death.
He was also very handsome and the best being alive.
Would be able to deliver us from our curse.
This setting is really cool. I am really enjoying it.
Bereft of remorse, Grendel comes in murderous range to my hall.
I don't remember if we see what Grendel looks like or what Grendel looks like in this, but Grendel is interesting because he could kind of be anything. Like, I don't remember for sure if we have like how much description the original Beowulf gives for Grendel. Yeah, so looking it up, the only sort of description we have for Grendel is that he has claws. I think I just said that. Did I just say that? Good on me. But also, interestingly, this says he's a monster descended from Cain. Cain, of course, being the first murder from the story of Genesis. That's really interesting. I really love that connection. That's cool. I love this sort of mythology world. And the connection between Grendel and Cain is pretty cool. Yeah, we really do not know what Grendel looks like. So it will be interesting to see if this episode gives him an appearance. This is really cool. I'm enjoying this episode so far.
My lord is fatigued. It is time to retire.
If you watch back that clip, that actor definitely was about to say his line too early, and then, like here, let's watch it back.
Go your vengeance and return home. Death lives here now.
See, right there, he's ready to say his line.
My lord is fatigued. It is time to retire. You will forego your vengeance and return home. Death.
You will go home, and then that's where he's ready to say his line.
Lives here now. My lord is fatigued.
There's
It's time
okay,
to
now
retire.
it's actually time. Now, that could be what it is. This could actually just be the actor doing a very good job, and being like, oh, I tried to comfort my king guy. But that's funny.
And I think we'd like to see this Grendel for ourselves.
To what purpose?
I would too! I want to know what he looks like. I'm just in my head, I imagine a Bigfoot. But, we don't know what he looks like, so I want to know what you think he looks like. Star Trek? Gene Roddenberry, who actually had very little to do with the show Voyager.
Instead, we spend yet another night in terror.
That actor is so funny to me. He feels so, just stage play-y, and he's trying really hard to remember his lines. And he's doing a good job, don't get me wrong. But also, this is sort of an area where it shows through that a lot of these extras and stuff don't have a lot of time for line memorization. And they just do sort of have to wing it as they go. The world of making TV shows is crazy. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I had to feed the piranhas.
Could help alleviate your terror.
Grendel might not wish to be examined.
Oh yeah, I think maybe they replaced Grendel with something. I don't remember. I want to say he's just sort of a ball of energy that's in here affecting the holodeck, which is very disappointing if that's true, but that's why I'm seeming to remember.
Characters who claim to know what happened to him.
Wait a minute. That looks like the first officer.
Go ahead.
Captain, we haven't found any definite signs of Harry.
That looks like the first officer that died in the first episode. You remember the one? He didn't like Tom Paris, and he had a brother who was a doctor. Not really. That's just lore I made up.
He was killed in the process.
Killed?
Since the safety programs are malfunctioning, we must consider the possibility.
Wouldn't it be crazy if this is how they killed Harry Kim? He just died in a holodeck off screen? That would be insane. That's not what they do here, of course. It is probably for the better, but that would be wild.
Every culture has its demons. They embody the darkest emotions of its people. Giving them physical form in heroic literature is a way of exploring those feelings.
I like that way of looking at things, where it's the embodying evil in stories, gives us a sort of broader, easy way to look at the evil within us, so to speak. I think that's pretty cool. I talked about this in my Emperor Palpatine video. If I remember, I'll link that here. But in that video I talk about how Palpatine doesn't represent a human character. Darth Vader represents a human character. but Palpatine just represents corruption and temptation. So he's like, he is evil as opposed to like a character that represents humanity that might be more nuanced.
I would point out there are no demons in Vulcan literature.
Really? Is that true? Like, I feel like there's probably somewhere where we've heard about like a Vulcan version of the devil. Maybe not. I know we've heard of a Klingon one. I'm sorry to interrupt you, me, but upon editing this video, I've actually been looking into whether or not the Vulcans had any demons in their lore, and basically, I've mostly come up with the answer being that no, it's actually fairly consistent that they do not. However, there's a few caveats there, most notably prior to their enlightenment, so to speak. They were sort of a very religious people, and then of course because Gene Roddenberry is an atheist and he thinks everyone should be an atheist or something, their enlightenment, they didn't have those gods anymore. However, those gods are very much described like the sort of monsters that we hear Chakotay referring to here. There's a god of war, a god of death, right? It sounds very much like demonic type people, and they're referenced in the episode Gambit, which I don't think is an X-Men episode, unfortunately. There is a book. Anyway, I'm getting off track. The other thing that I found was it looks like there's a couple of novels which probably aren't considered to be canon, where we have the Furies, which seem like fear demons, and then the Eater of Souls, which sounds like a demon that eats Vulcan souls. Now, I haven't looked into these too much. Maybe I will. Maybe that could be a later on video, like just sort of deep diving into the lore of Vulcans. That could be a fun video. But anyway, I thought because I mentioned it in this previous video, I should look into it a little bit. So, maybe you're right, Tuvok. But also, like, you're kind of making Vulcans seem boring, right? Like, we don't have mythology? It's kind of what he's saying. That sounds lame.
He might have been converted into energy?
Replacing Grendel with a ball of energy is definitely what happens in this episode. And that is very disappointing.
The holodecks are basically an outgrowth of transporter technology, changing energy into matter and back again.
That's actually really cool. I like how, I feel like this show in particular kind of does it, where it sort of connects their technology and talks about how, like, one technology led to another. Like, teleporters led to replicators, led to the holodeck, right? Like, that kind of thing is really interesting to me. And I enjoy the sort of depth of world building to thinking about how, like, one technology leads to another sort of stuff. That's fun.
I'm not willing to accept the fact that Harry and the others are gone for good. The molecular patterns might still be there. And if they are, we might be able to rematerialize them.
That's, kind of fun. You know, we know that Tom Paris is, like, very sort of, like, not... He's kind of protective of Harry Kim, right? Where he's, like, he always wants to rescue him and stuff. So it's kind of fun that he's the one who's saying this, where he's like, no, they might still be alive, we gotta go back in there, all that. I like that. That's good character, I think.
A hologram can't be converted into energy. It already is energy.
That's really clever. I like it. And, like, talking about it in that manner makes sense. I don't know. I buy the premise of this. It is interesting, because I remembered this as a Doctor-centric episode, but we're 15 minutes in to this episode, and the Doctor is just now showing up for the first time. It's kind of a slow build-up, I guess.
So make sure you're familiar with the Beowulf story.
She says be familiar with the Beowulf story. I feel like that does beg the question, which version of the Beowulf story? Because surely there's millions by the time of this. And maybe not. How many versions of Beowulf are there now? Because I honestly don't know. Like, is there other popular versions of Beowulf? But I'm assuming, much like Homer's The Odyssey, it's been reinterpreted time and time again. Maybe not. Maybe there's just one version of Beowulf, and then hundreds of years in the future, there still will be just one version of Beowulf. Who knows? Not a big fan of Kessa's costume here. She had a really cool purple one in early episodes. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the character of Kess, and this costume feels like it leans into my least favorite elements of that character.
You're nervous about this mission, aren't you?
I can perform emergency surgery without getting nervous. What makes you think I'm nervous?
Those things are familiar to you. You've been programmed to do them, but this is different.
Yeah, I like that, this element of the story. You know, in certain areas you can be like, you know, fully confident in yourself, but then like, when suddenly life throws you in a new direction, you're like, I don't know how to do this. I'm scared. So I like that the Doctor's sort of feeling that here.
But I've never even seen a sky or a forest.
This very much reminds me of the Fellowship of the Ring, when Sam is like, I've never stepped past this point before. And I really enjoy and connect with that sort of story moment where it's like, you know, you're doing something you've never done before and you're like, is this real? Am I really gonna go this far beyond the Shire or the Sickbay? And yes, they are. And they're gonna be better for it.
You've been telling me that you deserve to be treated like a member of the crew.
I don't feel like he has been telling her that. I feel like she's been telling him that. So, like, because to me, it kind of seems like he's like, I'm treated unfairly. Just shrug it off. But then she's like, no, you should be treated fairly. So, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of inconsistency there. Can you imagine just like being outside for the first time? When like you had spent the entirety of your life in one room, essentially? Now I'm sure he was programmed with knowledge of what trees are and what plant life is, but I still feel like it would be kind of crazy to just spend so much time in the same room, then all of a sudden you're opened up to like the entirety of the holodeck outdoors.
What is your name?
I'm glad you asked. My name is Schweitzer.
I wonder if they let Robert Picardo choose that name. Like, I feel like if I was in charge of Voyager, that's definitely how I would do it. Is like, I wouldn't write the name into the script. I would just be like, oh yeah, the actor gets to pick. Probably they didn't do that, but it would be cool. Also, side note, this woman is supposed to be a Shield Maiden.
You're Freya, a female warrior known as a Shield Maiden.
She has no shield, so that's a little odd.
Schweitzer.
Fate be with you.
She has a sword and a spear, but no shield. The Shield Maiden. Robert Picardo is very good at sort of slapstick humor.
Enjoy it, Lord Schweitzer. It is a great delicacy
Can he taste things?
in our land.
I mean, I'm sure he can. Because I think Data can taste things as well? I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Thank you. You are a true champion, always ready for the fight. Perhaps you would like some mead to fortify yourself for battle.
No, thank you. I'm fine.
Away! You're disturbing Lord Schweitzer!
Oh no. That was funny.
Freya, your world isn't coming to an end.
Until we get Harry Kim back and then shut down the program.
Emergency! Get me out of here!
Oh, hello, it's me from the future again, from editing the video. I'm a little ashamed I didn't realize this initially, but the Doctor losing his arm here is a pretty clear reference to how Beowulf originally killed Grendel by ripping off his arm, and then he would go and like basically bleed out. So with this version of Grendel taking the Doctor's arm, it's pretty clear that they are trying to reference that element of the original story, and I didn't realize it, so I didn't say anything, but now I am, because I realized it upon editing. So, there you go.
I'm on it.
I'll give you a hand.
I'll give you a hand, and then the Doctor looks at his hand that he was just given by Tom Paris. Also, Tom Paris and B'Elanna, spoilers, but they end up having a bit of a romantical relationship. So maybe you wanted to help her out because he has a bit of a crush on her. Who knows?
In the matrix of a hollow character. That's how they were able to take our crew members hostage.
So what you're saying is that he could have appeared as actually looking like a Grendel, but instead he chose to just be an energy, so I don't get to see what Grendel looks like. Got it.
Freya.
Okay. Look, Mr. Doctor. She's a holodeck character. I know you're a hologram, so you kind of connect with her. But you can recreate her easily, just like you did your hand. Don't let him take the thingy.
Farewell.
It is kind of a neat poetic death here. But they can recreate her. So I also have a hard time caring. Yeah. I don't know. I think I found my thumbnail I made. Why is he so scared of fire?
Know if the being understood language, or just my behavior. It would have been interesting to pursue the relationship further.
I do love the curiosity of the Doctor. How he's so interested in learning and figuring out how things work. Also, like, that's a lot of the characters in Star Trek do have that sort of personality trait. But there's something very admirable about that to me. Alright, this has been my tangent studies where I study a film and then tangent about it. This new sort of format is really not too different from what I was doing previously, only this way it makes it a little bit easier. I don't have to take a lot of notes and stuff, which is great for me because I'm not a big fan of note-taking in general. If you liked this video, then hit the dislike button. That's the thing that Eric keeps telling you to do, so I guess I should go along with it. And until next time, live long and prosper. Farewell.